Hello gays, welcome to Crypto Star. Today, I will talk to you about Tera. Precisely, I will talk to you about the DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization, whose sole objective is to burn Tera Elinet tokens. We will see together, and friends, that their founder has burned 438,873,1712 token test of years. It is a considerable sum. 0.25 in detail. We will see their person, we will see the friends. You can delegate tokens to them so that they can get a resource from it. You share this resource, and the friends, thanks to the return of this stacking, they can burn tokens. A classic we will see here as their delegates to be that Luna interest. Obviously, we will be talking about the EU East course, and we will be talking about the land course, the Amaklassi. We will be talking about the ISO 222 standard. We will talk about the RON 15 RPMA XL and Algo XDES 50, and the Rages Bar des Amis. You will understand clearly and easily what the ISO 222 standard is and what the consequences are for the ecosystem. Cryptocurrency. We will talk about the Central Africa and its project to launch the Sengo. Yes, friends, the Central Africa, after the BTC launches its own cryptocurrency. And finally, we will make a state of the news, of which we will talk about. This one would be Shiva, of course, human Tera High 10 and friends. Before reading all these missives, before being trained and informed of the objective of managing the more wise disposal of his gift of his money, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification, not to miss none of our videos, friends. As you see it, with love and rigor, I make 3 videos a day. I do my best to share information with you. Check information that can not only allow you to better manage your time and money, but above all offered understand how the CAF crypt system works to make it clear that the determining variable is above all patience. Looking for information, found this information, verify this information, connect this information, then draw consequences that will motivate actions. But above all, friends, this one asks for patience. Cryptocurrency investments asks for patience, and today, friends, we are at a key moment. We are at a key moment for investing in cryptocurrencies. That's what I think, what I do. We are not only in the bear market, but we are also in the genesis, at the dawn of the exponential explosion of block technology, channel Blu-ray technology, chain distributed ledger technology, orange, and takes its time. But surely after this bear market, when the bull market comes, the explosion will be violent. The explosion will be powerful as never before seen. Not only neophytes, novices will hear more and more, no more talking about the cryptocurrency, but and above all the companies, the management groups, the investment funds have clearly realized the magnitude of the value of a cryptocurrency ecosystem. It is today that we must cultivate ourselves. It is today that we must inform ourselves in order to position ourselves on projects, strong on smart projects, on projects with a wise team. Cultivate, decided on a team, a project with the objective of satisfying a societal need. And that is why, friends, we will talk about the ISO 222 standard, which is really, in my opinion, super important. Friends, understand that everything that exists at one time or another will be in large proportions dematerialized, digitized, in order not only to facilitate access, but to be able to manipulate exchanges and manage assets more easily, just like the services of friends. How are without later our video? I thought it was important to take stock of where we are today before each video so that you can measure how much you have to be patient, how far you are at a time wearing. Friends, you are early, you are ultra girly. Only 3% the world population is connected to technology blocks. Chain technology blocks are today made exact by the same as internet in 2001 huge and total crash, or where most assets are paying at 95% of value and ready to lose. Even more people are panicking. And friends, remember the internet explosion after this huge correction. I am waiting the correction, exactly the same thing that techno blocks chain, but power multiplied almost by 10. It will be violent, it will be surprising, but certainly if you follow this chain, if you understand how cryptocurrency works, you will be able to benefit from it. We find ourselves here on the Twitter of Uganda, where want to remind you is the classic house. Luna is a decentralized autonomous organization. That means, friends, are people who manage it, is people who have gone all around the planet, who manages, and that it floats to make the decision. They have 31,000 fala, not insignificant, and the friends, their objectives, their functions. It is quite simply burned from the token. Terrell has burnt juicy contracts. Luna is burnt again. You Stickfield, Jonah Hill are involved. They are decided, they are really into it and are important in friends today. I just realized here is a special donkey bones has been made, is that, and that one of their founders, one of the longtime founders, friends, has decided to burn 100% of his own token, and what will make friends 438,873,1712 he will burn. And well, obviously, friends, it was a beautiful whale. Even if today you buy 438 million token sent, well, that's a good amount, and if he had them 2 outfits before the elected pet D is, and my friends, it's a beautiful whale, and some altruistic people, a person who decides to burn their own. Token will say is that it seems not to be huge, but if friends it's huge, it's there a lot of token, knowing that the offer circulation of Tera est is 9.82 trillion so billion, it will burn almost a billion half to 1 billion friends, it's a lot of tokens, so me it gives me confidence, so I've been here to find the place where you can delegates of the tokens to LuxDAO, and we are going to delegate a part of May token to them together in order to be able to help them here. We have arrived here. I found the stake of Luna DAO, and of course friends, it is not for you for stack, and Wolf the Classic is for stack, and Luna V2, as you know, I had a few turnips from airdrop sequels, so I am doing the stack is with them. I'm going to try to delegate the task to them. Totality of token that I have in my possession in total game will end up having 32 at the moment. I only have 13. I'm going to delegate them because I really think they are doing a good job. I really think it can help them. It worked really well, so I delegated a large part of my token. I only kept enough to be able to cover the costs here, our friends. So it's done. I have just delegated, but token Luna V2 to her lights SDAO, the autonomous decentralized organization, which aims to friends of stack, and being clowned too on the Luna channel V2 logo, and with the girls and with the feedback, he says he takes care of buying being that classic Luna to burn them friends. They are really involved. You know, I think concretely that he is and must find his father before the classic Lynn more exposed, that said it will be the subject of a video in detail. Now continue. We see here land a classic on my Telegram group. People sometimes are a little in panic, friends. I should really remind you once again that Terra Mina Classic is taking it to the niches, and Terra the Neo Classic has exploded here. It is 1 beat higher than the previous. Completely normal. There it goes up. It corrects Elrond to look for cash, and even if friends it relapsed so far, you have to learn to follow a project, because friends, you know what you get up, you know the deep value of your project. For us to start panicking points, 8 points, no, when you go in and out you lose energy, you lose time, and you are stressed. You really have to see friends your investments on the long run. My strategy, you knew it, it's the long run here. There is nothing to stress about it. It's completely normal, completely natural, friends. We come here to the ISO 222 standard, friends. The ISO 222 E standard, super important. The ISO 22 standard aims to manage cross-border payments. It useful and used by Tala. The standard is already used by Australia, by Canada, thereafter the land, and B is also soon, it seems to me, France. The ISO 222 standard is a standard of single and homogeneous financial messages, okay for all banks, and thus facilitate globalization. The problem today that the bank is French American, that it is from our country, it does not speak the same language, and the ISO 222 standard aims to standardize to make a kind of temple is, and thus all banks will be able to exchange information, whether bank to bank or bank to company. We understand how important these standards are from bank to bank, banca companies, border transfers, okay, digitalization, as we know, is happening everywhere. The objective is to soon everything, absolutely everything, pay a cryptocurrency. I tell you about it quite often. I tell you quite often that cryptocurrency, friends, are money, and that's why Europe is regulating stablecoins, because at some point, whether it's in national digital currency or unstable certified account, we can all be paid in cryptocurrency. I have prepared for you, friends, a list of crypto that will be supported, that will be backed by companies, by the bank, and especially by the SEC, the friends, especially by the SEC, okay? So we have XRP, XLM algo used as, but friends, we have especially XRP as our country is going strong, takes an absolutely huge position because she already has a large bank army and who support her and who are behind XRP, friends. I think will eventually win this case, and that's why soon Jeffrey a video that explains why I decided to take a position on XRP. We also have friends when H by Ada of Cardinals who also take advantage of the ISO 222 standard when it's interoperability. You know that interoperability is an absolute necessity and totally important for the birth of the Web 3 points to the spouses. Once again, allow the exchange in an invisible way for the users. So yes, interoperability is absolutely totally essential to the birth of the metaverse. This to the standardized use of NFC, but has as real object. Not only JPEG 10 by Friends is a phenomenal protocol, and today I feel even more bullish about it knowing that they take advantage of the ISO 222 standard at the ring card. I have a small position, only 1,000 token, and I believe Friends over time, I will strengthen it, so it is very important to be aware, friends, of this ISO standard in particular, because assets that are not this standard will have difficulties to be used on a very large scale to take advantage of flow movement, friends. That two absolutely phenomenal capital movement. When we talk about Trill Ion, when we speak of millions of billions, these are some so impressive that it is difficult to apprehend them. And well, friends, it is to push protocol their aim to move sums of this scale, and we clearly understand that it is impressive that it has an absolutely dominant place in the establishment of the future use of scripts to assets. We arrive here, friends, on Central African. Yes, the Central African. Already I opened this page to tell you what was the Central Africa, because some people might not know where his graph is there. Me personally, despite the fact that my origins are clearly absolutely totally African, I was born in Haiti, the island of Hispaniola, which became Haiti. Haitians come clearly large proportion of Benin, who were imported from Benin to go to Haiti to work as slaves during the trade. Me, I feel it totally African, but I have never been to Africa, and I came to France at the age of 10. I grew up in France, so I have a thought of French. I have never been to Africa. On just that, in Morocco, I know it's shameful, and I will end up remedying it. But on the other hand, I know France very well. I have traveled a lot, but I have not been much in Africa. The Central African Republic, commonly called the Central African Republic, or designated by the acronym RCA, in Sango. Therefore, Sango is a language and will also be the name of the active ripped minute created by the Central African Republic in Sango, Dorosisi. Titbi Africa is a developing Central African state with an eastern population estimated at 4,500,000 inhabitants in 2020 for an area of approximately 623, 1,000 km. Capital Bangui population for 83 million, gross domestic products of $300 billion. President Faustin Archangel Touadera David Barco. Languages: the Ango and French. Obviously, motto BTC CFA francs. My God, friends, you know personally what I think of the CFA franc, and the fact of seeing CFA francs here, it already scares me knowing that if the CFA franc is as topical in Central African Republic. And good friends, we know what happens when people try to modify their exchange rates. It is to move or cancel the CFA franc. We know what is happening. Become aware of the 100 Go project after recognition. Dubic against the Central African Landsargs currency. Lisango in the Central African section officially launches the 100 Go project on Sunday, July 3. This is the name of the cryptocurrency wanted by President Faustin Archange in the wake of the adoption of the Bit account as official currency at the end of April. The head of state should speak on the platform dedicated to this new currency, which would be backed by the country's vast natural resources, which is magnificent. Africa is the continent where the natural resources are the most abundant. The continent is the continent. The population is the youngest. The continent, also in my opinion, the friends, where there is the most future, and the cryptocurrency information decentralization access to the internet has them, but will be able to allow them to explode to a point still unimaginable. And this idea delights me wholeheartedly. By klepto money is revolutionary. It will democratize democracy. It's very pretty as a sentence. Democratize democracy. It's in a video by 6 minutes. Its time at the same time, it is far from that of the Central African Republic and the cryptocurrencies that Faustin Archange Touadera give an appointment for the official launch of the 100 Go expected online Sunday evening on the dedicated platform. The head of state will be accompanied of 4 ministers and 4 conferences and presented as specialists in blockchain technology, supposed to preserve the security and storage of cryptocurrency. A crypto island with investors' money. The Sango project would transform the island of monkeys located opposite the capital on the show on the Albangui River into a crypto island, a tax-free zone or palace casino, large stadium, and water park. Will see the day when I think I will end up going to know a crypto island, more like a desire to go and know Africa. Is good friends, it will interest me. The value of 100 Go would be guaranteed by multiple Central African mining resources. The supporters of the project claim that it will bring capital into the country and massive investment in infrastructure. It could eventually help develop the country. But we know that the countries where the CFA is in progress, not total freedom on how they can manage their country in the way they can do foreign trade, and above all they must above all pay a large proportion of the recipe. To France, I am French, I live in France, I take advantage of Social Security, I take advantage of the good life that French society offers us through, of course, the taxes are huge, exorbitant, that I pay. I participated in that, but I am sad about how the CFA franc works. I aspire, and I hope it will change over time as soon as possible, because friends, the CFA franc is a reminder, francs is a direct reminder, is a slap in the face that prevents us from forgetting slavery, its consequences, but its detractors consider it unrealistic or even suspect that it would be used to launder ill-gotten funds from all over the world. Yes, that's what we often say about cryptocurrency. My dream is to see that the Central Africans can live well on his soil. Really, he dreamed, continues the president on the video before an inviting voice in English, is part of the moment in the history of the dream of a president, the reconstruction of the country Central African Republic. On the friends side, we are going on this project to see how they evolve, to see what it becomes, but yes, we will follow it. So we arrive here. You have seen I am doing it fast enough so that you can have as much relevant information as possible. I think the information that has been given is relevant. We have here Celsius to pay off its debts. The insolvency ridge was removed around Celsius as extreme market conditions forced the project to suspend retreats 3 weeks ago. We know the Argentines turned to crypto. El Salvador does it. Argentines and Latin American countries are bound to do so, because they are in large proportions subject to the dollar, are revolted against the dollar, which will end up doing it. Apart from it, there is no problem. The price of the bit counter goes back under 20,000, and we saw there we look within 7 days, it was 1817, and are the friends they meet at the today at 1,600, the BTC at 19,000 site. Without friends, it's legendary. You must realize that it is an absolutely exceptional price. Of course, it can go below on May 17. It will not go much lower than that. It would be really surprising. Club and also ends up at $7,000, but no one is 20. Those are the estimates on my part. I really think BTC at 19,600 is important, and that's the time of death. And that's why I do it. That's why I play soccer. I think it will be a good time to put his death in place, but quietly. 92% Queen Best users by United Shiba. I wanted to show you this so you can appreciate how point that Terra Luna Classic is important, and Alona Classic is going to bring together all the people who tend to invest under the umbrella account, all the people who tend to invest on trendy projects without even knowing what it is that estion, because you are at the classic to a fanatical community. Your classic Alona, my friends, take advantage of almost all the advantages of Achilles counts, but without the disadvantages. The people are a bit of a risk, the increased risk. So you are a classic Alona really is well positioned and game at the same. Make you a video explaining why I'm going to put it in our list of assets on the long run. Panthers Capital, look at what caused the land issues. Of course, we'll take a little look at the company invests our him to Cryptoporticus Capital takes a closer look at what caused the reason for problems, the wholesaler and lender interests that process and crypto hedge fund based in St. Bonnet 20 Capital Troyes AC, the June 2022 issue. This is newsletter monthly. Penta Capital explained the aforementioned breakup timelines in kryptonite space. Very interesting, like words. I had never used this word. I don't know. I didn't even know of its existence. Aforementioned, quite logical, mentioned below, quite interesting. So here I'm going to leave you the link if you want to read it and become aware of it. But I think we have come back to this quite often. So today, we made a point for you to have enough information, and at noon, friends, we will come back to some articles, and if we find the most relevant information, we will talk about it. So friends, his videos